Yeah.
Good evening, President Oakley, Board President Kellogg, members of the board, faculty, staff, and students and community members in attendance. My name is Janae Hund. I am a professor of sociology at Long Beach City College. I would first like to thank President Oakley for his advice a few years ago at a Board of Trustees meeting in which I was speaking about my concerns of shared governance at Long Beach City College. You told me then that there is shared governance at Long Beach City College. I just needed to participate in it. So here I now stand as the faculty or the teachers' Political Action Committee chair. As I listen to the comments this evening and reflect upon what led to Governor Brown's signing of AB 955 and its potential implementation at Long Beach City College, I continue to ask, where is the shared governance or collegial consultation at this college? There simply was no collegial consultation prior to President Oakley lobbying for AB 955 locally and all the way to Sacramento. We faculty, staff, and students and community members stand united against AB 955 and its implementation at Long Beach City College. Had we been consulted, would we even be hearing this discussion and dissent opposing this evening's agenda items regarding the intercession extension pilot program? Thank you.
Thanks, Janae. Good evening.
Good evening, Board of Trustees and attendees. My name is Lauren Christine Ho, and I'm here to speak in support of AB 955. Please do not jump me outside. I don't have a speech prepared, so also bear with me. I'm hearing a lot of various complaints from students about how they want education to be equal and mentioning that a lot of students are already drowning in debt. But I do want to stress the fact that this bill provides an option for students who currently don't have any alternative other than to wait. Time is also money. I'm a 25-year-old who already has an associate's degree in cosmetology, and when I came back to college, it was to further pursue higher education goals. I've already mapped out my class schedule. However, I know that there is a possibility that I won't be able to get all of the classes that I need when I plan to. That being said, if I'm in my very last semester, which is 3 months long, and I only need one more class in order to transfer, if I had the option of paying more in order to finish faster and go on and pursue my career in my life, I think it would be very beneficial. Do I personally have $700 or $800 that it would cost to take one of these classes? No, I don't. But do I think that it's important for the Board of Trustees to provide students with this option? Yes, very much so. With the mentioning of students not being able to access education, I believe that this would actually make education more accessible even to those students who don't have a lot of money. The students who do have money and are going to be able and willing to spend it to take winter intercession and summer classes are going to provide extra space for the students that don't have the money to do so in the spring and fall semesters. Also, nothing is going to be affected for fall and spring. I think that there are a lot of complaints and opposition to a bill that won't as negatively affect us as it seems. That is all.
Thank you.
President Oakley, I'm President Kellogg, members of the board, administrators, academic senate president, students, faculty, and staff. My name is Charlotte Joseph, and I am a professor of political science here at Long Beach City College. I apologize if I am repetitive about something that was said. I have a new faculty member starting in about 25 minutes, an 8-week class, and I was getting her started without PeopleSoft access, so it was a lot of fun. But, so I apologize, I wouldn't normally want to be redundant. I am speaking here opposed to the concept of implementing courses for fees. I could say it is part ideology and a philosophy that, you know, every time fees go up, access becomes more and more limited to our students. And I appreciate the use of financial aid, scholarships, loans, the like. It got me all the way through school, those various devices. But I am also very concerned about the use of that money and the taking of valuable financial aid resources when students have so many semesters and a dollar amount that their education will cost. At a time when the Cal States have less ability and the UCs have less ability to control their cost and continue to put more and more burden onto the students, it seems that we're in a unique position where we can keep fees lower and not use a large amount of the financial aid dollars needed for our students. One of my concerns is financial, and I understand this in theory in really tight financial times. But email after email in this semester, we have been told that we were below cap, we needed to get more dollars. That's why I have, as department head of history and poli-sci, started 6 late starting classes. And if we really are in the hunt for FTES, any course we offer for full payment cannot be counted towards that cap. So ultimately, the numbers might be small, but why in the world would you offer a class for a fee when we need those enrollments to reach our cap? Or potential growth money that may come later in the year with the May revise as we look at it. I don't believe it is too late to turn it down. The economy has changed. We're in a position where if this is, I know in some private discussions, and I'm sorry I didn't hear the presentation, it was said that veterans have a different pool of dollars and there are some issues about living allowances and the like. I appreciate that. But I also know that our priority registration process, as required by the state of California, places veterans first. So there is no doubt that they would be able to get any class that we offered at the regular fee basis. We don't have to create special classes for them because nothing else is available. Veterans and DSP&S students have that first priority in registration.
You could please bring your comments to a close.
Okay, thank you, President Kellogg. Finally, with the small number of sections that are being considered to be offered, I, again, don't understand the logic at this point in time because we clearly have the money to offer additional sections. I added 19 new sections to the spring semester.
Charlotte, please bring it to a
Thanks,
close.
I'm sorry. And so my point is, we have the money to offer regular classes for our students. This does not seem like all the time to go down this road. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thomas, before you come to the podium, because you have a different item on our calendar, but either I missed it and I apologize. Catherine Jennings, did you speak and I didn't see you? No? Okay. I had a yellow card, that's why. All right, that concludes the comments on that particular item. Thomas, you have a different item on agenda item only. And because this is, you have, per our rules, you have 5 minutes, Thomas. You're the only speaker on this one subject item.
Good evening, President Oakley, President Kellogg, Board of Trustees, faculty members, staff, class, and guests. Board of Trustees, I'd like for you to take a minute to look at the calendar that I'm going to address. Last year, I polled our employees as far as what they wanted to do as far as for the holidays. and AFT in the district negotiated the deal as far as for moving the 4 board holidays to Christmas week. That was brought to the Board of Trustees. You guys voted on it, and you approved it. In looking at the new calendar, I think 2 of those holidays went on winter break, or they got lost during the reorg, and they got moved to the week of the 30th. Now, what we're asking to do is to do the same thing that we did last year. Have the holidays on the 23rd and the 24th. National holiday Christmas is on the 25th and the 26th, 27th. Move the 30 and the 31 to Christmas week so that we would have the whole entire week off, which would be beneficial to everybody in this room, faculty, students, admin, and managers. Okay? Now, we all know that we have 5 board holidays. On Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, we use one of those board holidays so that everybody can spend time during the holidays with their families. All we're asking to do is the same thing that we did last year, and I've been on the calendar committee, and 2014 is already taken care of, whereas those 4 board holidays are on Christmas week. I'm only asking you to do this as far as for 2013 because the other years will be taken care of as far as like in committee. Okay, when we look at the calendar, the last day for the students is on the 16th of December. Flex Day is on the 17th. That gives us the next entire week for the classified and the managers as far as to take care of all input they have to do as far as doing grades and everything else. It'll give the staff, the managers, and everybody else that time to relax, spend time with their families, and so on and so forth. Now, understand that there's been some feedback on this, and the reason was, as soon as the classified found out that the holidays were moved, then my phone and my email started ringing up, and they said, Thomas, what's going on? And what I told them to do was fill out the proper form, turn it into your supervisors, and if you want those days off, put in for vacation time so you could be off. And if it gets rescinded, if it gets changed as far as like with the Board of Trustees, all you have to do is rescind it and have your time off. The reason that we turn around and put the Friday off after Thanksgiving is to have time with the family. The difference in being off on the 23rd and the 24th in comparison to being off on the 30th and the 31st is you get to go shopping, spend time with your family and your loved ones. You have that whole week to relax. The classified staff, that's the time during the 2 weeks during the year that we can relax and take time off because we know that winter session is going to be here. We understand that. But looking at things now, we know that winter session is going to start on the 6th. So basically, we have that 2 week period that people can relax and take time off. All I'm asking you to do is look at the calendar, look at those 2 days. Do the right thing. It's beneficial to everybody. It's a win-win for everybody. And the greatest thing about this is it costs absolutely nothing. You get to close down the campus for an entire week. There's no utilities being done. We don't have to worry about people putting in for a vacation request and having the managers figuring out who's going to be here on the 23rd and 24th. Because if you guys make this move, you can close down the college, save electricity, the headaches, nobody getting refused as far as taking a vacation on the 2 days before Christmas. Last year was 1 day. You guys saw it. You approved it. Everybody was happy. We're asking you to look at the calendar again. It's only 2 days. The 2 days that are there, it's not going to cost. We just want to take the 30 and 31 and move them up 1 week to the 23rd and the 24th so everybody can have a nice holiday. And all I'm saying, it doesn't cost. So let's just do this, look at it and study it, and then make the right call and move those 2 days for us. Thank you.
Thank you. And I apologize, but I did so, Thomas, I walked over to President Oakley to ask if he wanted to comment. He said that is actually being worked on with the appropriate parties. So they are having discussions as we speak to address that issue. All right. Thank you all. No other speakers at this time. For agenda items, we are going to move through the consent calendar very quickly. It is consent calendar items 2, 3, and 4. If there are any items that wish to be pulled from the consent calendar, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve consent calendar items 2, 3, and 4.
Move approval.
Motion by Trustee Clark. Second by
Second.
Trustee Otto. All those in favor of approval of the consent calendars, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Consent calendar is closed. By the way, the comment was made earlier when we started, when we took a roll call, that Trustee Aranga would be arriving late. When I talked to Trustee Aranga, he had a prior commitment, and the option would have been for him to be here for a short period of time. Matter of fact, he'd be long gone from this meeting because of that commitment. And I do not anticipate, nor he indicated to me at all, that he would have the opportunity to get back in time for this meeting. So I don't want people to think that he expecting him to come back, but he did have a previous schedule, and he couldn't move that other commitment as well. So I don't anticipate Trustee Aranga to be arriving at this meeting. The end of the consent calendar, we are now on to the items. Academic Senate, no report this time. Thank you. Superintendent President, 9.1, and I'm going to, as I mentioned, pull items 12.9. President Oakley.
Well, I think it would be helpful, Board President Kellogg, if the board wishes to have discussion, I'd be happy to do a presentation, but if the board could move the item so that we could do it appropriately and don't have to come back to it later.
We are going to be dealing with, which your item 9.1, which is the Intercession Extension Pilot Program. And I apologize, let me read this very quickly for the audience, if I can get to it very quickly. This item here, 9.1, direct the superintendent president to send notice to the chancellor of the California Community Colleges that Long Beach City College will participate in the Community College Intercession Extension Pilot Program. This is in regard to AB 955 that requests the California Community College Chancellor's Office to establish a voluntary pilot program that authorizes the community college district to establish and maintain an extension program meeting specifically characteristics during summer and winter intercession. That is item 9.1. What I probably should do, if you're asking me that question, I should probably have a motion on the floor to address this item 9.1, which is sending written notice to the chancellor. Then we'll follow that with the other item, which is 12.9, but they are interlocked. So at that time, if I could entertain a motion to approve, or at least to put on a motion to approve item 9.1, please. A motion. Motion by Trustee Otto. Second.
I'll second on the basis of providing a debate.
There's a motion and a second on item 9.1. This time, President Oakley.
Yes, thank you, Board President Kellogg, and members of the board, and thank you to those members of the public who are here to provide testimony, and in particular thanks to the students, and a hearty thank you to the student from Solano Community College. I'll make sure that I notify your president that you made the drive down here and get you some extra credit or something for your drive. I do appreciate hearing all the testimony. I'm going to give what may be a little bit of a lengthy presentation on this action item, and to give some clarity on what the bill does allow for, what it does not allow for, and at the board's request, summarize how Long Beach City College would actually implement this. I will then turn it over to Dr. Brock to discuss what types of courses that we're looking at to offer during the winter intersession, discuss the 5-week intersession that was brought up earlier, and then ask Dr. Peterson to finish off by talking about how we would actually register students for courses, and how that would work for the intersessions that we would propose to offer. So first of all, let me talk a little bit about the legislation that was signed into law by Governor Jerry Brown. There's been a lot of discussion about this particular piece of legislation, and let me clarify some issues, and let me talk specifically about how it would apply to Long Beach City College. First of all, I just would like to remind everyone that this particular bill was authored by Democratic Assembly Member Doss Williams, who is also a community college graduate went to Santa Barbara City College. And it was initiated initially because of a hearing he held in Ventura. That hearing was, the purpose of that hearing was to discuss with the Assembly Higher Education Committee the lack of access to community colleges that students, in particular Latinos, had faced over the last 4 years. There was quite a bit of testimony at that hearing. I was invited to testify as well before the committee. And after that committee hearing, the Assembly member expressed deep concern about finding ways to address the lack of access for students, particularly students of color. There were several studies cited, one by the Public Policy Institute of California that documented or reported that over 600,000 students had been denied access from our California community colleges. A significant number, over 100,000 fewer course sections had been offered during the last 3 years. There was also discussion about a Corinthian college report, and for those of you who are not aware, Corinthians runs most of the for-profit institutions in and around Southern California. They did a study that suggested that over 800,000 Latino students would be denied access to California community colleges over the next several years. It quickly became apparent to the Assembly member what that meant. What that meant was that our for-profit colleges were targeting Latino students, and in particular targeting Latino students, veteran students. So he asked a lot of people for advice on how to move forward. He certainly asked us here at Long Beach City College for our numbers, our suggestions, and of course, we were more than happy to help him try to find ways to address the very important issue he was trying to solve. So after that discussion, AB 955 was introduced into the Assembly, and there were multiple policy debates over the bill, and of course went through the Higher Education Committee, the Assembly Appropriations Committee, Senate committees, on and on and on. There was a very healthy policy debate surrounding this bill. Many amendments were taken, and a lot of suggestions were made along the way to ensure that what Member Williams was trying to accomplish could be done and protect students along the way. There's been a lot said about who did not support the bill, but let me be very clear about who is on record as supporting the bill. The American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, the American Legion Department of California, AMVETS Department of California, California Competes Council, the California State Commanders Veterans Council, the Campaign for College Opportunity, College of the Canyons, College of the Canyons Associated Student Government, Lake Tahoe Community College Associated Student Council, the Mexican American Legal Defense and Education Fund, the National Guard Association of California, Riverside Community College District, the Service Employees International Union, Solano Community College, the Veterans of Foreign Wars Department of California, and the Vietnam Veterans of America California State Council. The Member Williams received input from each and every one of those organizations, and there are many provisions in this bill that reflect the needs and wants of those organizations to ensure that both underrepresented students, veterans, union working families are served by the intent of this bill. And I could certainly be happy to sit with anyone who wants to see all the protections that were placed in this bill, but I don't think we have enough time today. But I will highlight some. First of all, the bill is open to 6 pilot colleges. 2 have indeed said that they do not plan to implement at this time. The other 4 have expressed a desire to implement. Most recently, College of the Canyons and Solano Community College have expressed their desire to implement, and the San Bernardino Community College District is indeed having discussions at the board level about implementing this bill. Although it has been said that 2 colleges are not able to implement because of the eligibility criteria, that's only partially correct. They are not able to implement this winter. They are able to implement going forward in the next academic year. I'd also like to take a moment to read the governor's signing statement. The governor did pay particular attention to this bill. He received significant input from across the state and across the country. And I will quote his letter to the California Assembly upon his signing of this bill. I am signing AB 955, which establishes a voluntary pilot program allowing a handful of California community colleges to offer high-demand courses during the summer and winter intersessions. This seems like a reasonable experiment. Why deny these campuses the opportunity to offer student access and financial assistance to courses not otherwise available? So what does all that mean to Long Beach City College? What it means is that because our college has been impacted over the last 2 years and has reached its base enrollment levels, we have not been funded for any student above and beyond our enrollment cap or our base enrollment. And so we have had a difficult time providing access to all the students who want to take classes at Long Beach City College. Just to give you an idea of the type of demand that we've seen over the years, and this is just reflective of this this fall semester. English has seen a total weight count of over 1,000 students. Math, nearly 800. Reading, 376. Anatomy, 318. Biology, 248, and so on. Well over 5,000 students have been on wait lists just this semester. Over the last several years, there have literally been nearly 100,000 students that have been on wait lists over those periods of time. There has been mention about the fact that we are trying to add classes, and we certainly are. The Board of Trustees had made a specific request of staff to add more classes, and we have done so. The Board of Trustees set aside about $500,000 to add more classes, and we have been doing so. We have been working hard with the math department, the English department, social sciences to find the faculty to add more classes. Yes, we continue to try to add classes to ensure we make our enrollment, our base enrollment, which we expect to make. We have this issue year after year, ensuring that we add the right classes to make our base enrollment. That's the function that we have to complete, and we fully expect to complete that. The other thing that I want to make clear is that extension courses do not supplant any state-supported courses. Anything that is offered in extension is above and beyond what the state supports Long Beach City College to do. This only allows colleges to add additional courses above the level that we're funded for. This is an authority that's been utilized by the University of California for over 100 years. This is an authority that has been utilized by the California State University system for nearly 100 years through extension courses. So this issue is not new to California public higher education. The other thing that this bill does is ensure a couple of things. One, that the fee will be discounted for Board of Governor fee waiver eligible students. 2, that every community college participating shall raise additional funds to reduce the costs to Board of Governor fee waiver eligible students. For those of you who are not familiar with the term, these are basically all of our low-income students. 3, it requires us to do an analysis of the enrollments to ensure that this is not disproportionately impacting students of color or students who have low financial means. It requires us to extend financial aid to these students and to educate them on the financial aid options available to them. There is financial aid available to them. There is also the American Opportunity Tax Credit that many of our students do not take advantage of because they don't pay a fee, particularly if they're a Board of Governor fee waiver student. Finally, the reason that many, if not all, of the veterans organizations in California have supported this bill and have worked with Member Williams to promote this bill is that many veterans have had to do without their housing stipend or have had to do without taking classes at a public California community college during summer and winter when there's no classes available. Yes, they continue to have priority in California community colleges, but this is priority to classes that are available. If classes are not available, which last winter, Long Beach City College could not offer any classes. Last summer, it only offered about a third of the classes that it offered 4 years prior. So unless there are classes available for veterans, they cannot get access. Their benefits are available to them for about 36 months. So they have to get through the system quickly. Is this the perfect solution for all of those student groups that I mentioned? No. The perfect solution is full state funding from the state of California. But as recently described by Governor Brown, the Little Hoover Commission, and a number of other state agencies, our public higher education system is not going to see the same level of funding for many, many years to come that we had 4 years ago. And even 4 years ago, it wasn't adequate. So the question becomes, are there other solutions that would allow us to look at ways to offer more access above and beyond what we offer today? This piece of legislation attempted to do that. Now, here locally at Long Beach City College, we would be looking, as the bill's intent suggests, at high demand classes. Classes that have had extensive wait lists for long periods of time. It's easy for us to say, those of us who already have our education, that we'll sit here and have a philosophical debate about whether or not this is a slippery slope. But for the thousands and thousands of students who have not been able to get the degrees that us value so much, we're trying to find one more opportunity for them, and this is strictly voluntary on their part. We will offer state-supported winter intersession courses this winter in the 5-week intersession. This is something that we've discussed and debated in our shared governance process, and we will offer those. What we are proposing to do is also offer a limited number of courses to high-demand areas beginning this winter and give students one more option to take classes. We will bring back information to the board. We'll ensure that the board has an opportunity to digest who was served and what classes were offered before we go any further. Second, we have received more than $75,000 thus far from California foundations to help support this effort for our low-income students. That is why, even though the fee that we're proposing is $225 per unit to regular resident students, that fee will be discounted to $90 per unit for our Board of Governor fee waiver eligible students. Now, to many, that's still double the price that our California community colleges charge. But we believe, I believe, that we can make this reasonably priced for every level of student. Even with the raise in fee for this extension course, we are still below the national average for California community colleges. It is a wonderful environment to live in California, that we can be proud of having the lowest fees in the country. And that's something that we should continue to fight for. This bill sunsets in 5 years. The expectation is that the state will begin to fund us in the future at a level that our students deserve. This gives us an opportunity to serve students who need courses and need to get out now, and gives us an opportunity to rally around this issue of affordability and continue to fight in the state legislature for the kind of support that we need. So I'm going to stop there. Certainly if the board has questions, I'm happy to answer them. And then at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Marilyn Brock to talk in general about the winter intercession that we're trying to develop at this time.
And I'm sorry, Marilyn, once you complete, we will have board members speak, but just so people understand, we have 2 issues we're going to have to vote on. We'll just vote on one after the other. One is 9.1. The reason why we broke that down is one is a letter, which we believe we have to separate to the chancellor about our status regarding this program. The second one is having to do more with the details of, and that's details of the fees and things of that nature administratively, and that's item 12.9. But we will not go back and have another discussion and start over. So once we are through with the questions, we will then go to the motion that's on the floor, 9.1, and immediately after that, I'll entertain a motion for item 12.9. So just people know. And once we finish, we do have members of the board, including the student trustee, that would like to ask some questions or make some comments. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. As you've been hearing a discussion tonight, AB 955 requires that courses would be scheduled concurrently with the college winter intersession and also the college summer intersession. So the calendar committee met and decided that because of the way the calendar lays out this year, the winter intersession would be January 6th through February 8th. This would allow for a 4-week or 5-week session, either for apportionment-based or fee-based classes. These are regular credit classes. And as President Oakley indicated, the classes are needed by a large number of our population. There were this fall 5,629 students on a wait list, on a combined number of wait lists for the fall. That calculates into approximately 140 additional sections that we would need just to be able to satisfy the students that are currently on our wait list. The high demand wait list classes, as President Oakley indicated, are English, math, anatomy, sociology, counseling 1, communications 10, biology 2, psychology 1, allied health, reading 882, statistics, food and nutrition 20, political science, and history. We also did a survey of veterans and their needs, and the veterans that would most likely attend the winter intersession are in need of sociology 1, psychology 1, music 32, film, humanities, social science, and philosophy 3. There are currently 45 sections of regular credit-based apportionment generating classes scheduled for the winter session in a draft format at this moment. There are no classes scheduled for AB 955 yet, pending board action tonight. The plan was that if the action is passed tonight, there will be between 4 and 5 classes scheduled under AB 955. This will give the college a chance to pilot this for the state of California because we are the early adopter of this particular bill. To give you an indication of the total number of classes, that would be 45 additional classes, 40 that are regular fees and 5 that would be fee-based. And we normally, in a fall semester, this current fall semester, we are carrying 2,215 classes. So the intersession is very small, both fee-based and apportionment-based. And I would like to now turn it over to Dr. Peterson to give you an idea of how this might be implemented.
Okay, so our goal will be to communicate as clearly as possible to students the options that are available to them. The first thing, class schedules will be made available ahead of time for the winter intersession, spring, and the extension session in November, so that students will have time to review all of their options and planning out for the rest of this academic year. AB 955 requires a different priority registration process that gives priority to all resident community college students, all resident students, and then non-resident students. And so to honor that, our current LBC students with California residency would automatically receive priority registration. New students to LBCC would need to apply to the college by December 1st to be able to be included in those priority groups. Registration for extension courses will occur separately for all three of those, again, to be clear, so they wouldn't overlap. So the winter intersession is scheduled for November 18th. Spring is December 2nd, and the extension session would then begin registration December 9th after the other two sessions have begun. A video would be posted on the college website to explain the differences clearly for students between the winter intersession, the extension sessions, so they'd be able to see what those options are. Students taking the extension courses would complete the regular matriculation process, but they wouldn't be required to take the assessment unless they attempt to enroll in a course that has a prerequisite requirement, English, ESL, math, reading. They would also receive a targeted orientation to ensure they understand what it means to participate in the extension session and how that's different. So again, every option, we try to build in along that process to be communicating with students of the options available and what the differences are. And then finally, the students would be required to have paid in full by January 2nd to avoid being dropped. Normally, we allow students to carry some balance. But by doing that, by requiring that January 2nd payment or drop, it will protect students from having any issues with registration for the regular winter intersession or the spring session.
That's all I have for now, unless there's questions of the board.
Members of the board, they would like to ask some questions. The chair recognizes Trustee Clark, followed by Trustee Bowen, and then after Trustee Bowen, we'll have the student trustee. Trustee Clark.
Mr. President, as I understand this, how it would be useful when the classes fill at the regular price. Instead of being on the waiting list, they have an option now that would be available to them. They don't have to take it.
Correct.
And certainly, we don't set fees, the state sets fees. So this isn't setting any precedent for fees would be raised here to the same level. So I think it's actually a plus and not a minus, because you're giving students an opportunity that they have to have in some cases, to graduate, move on to the colleges. And it's available to them, and certainly they don't have to accept it, but otherwise they're on the waiting list and they're probably not going to get those classes. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.